Hi, this is Dave, Fellow Running Guide. Welcome to this week's navigation task. This week we're in the Peak District, and this is a run that I did recently. So I'm somewhere on this purple line shown on the map using the Ordnance Survey 1 to 50,000 map. So I want to know where the photograph was taken from, somewhere on that purple line, and can we identify the feature circled. So it's this feature here, and I've given you a bit of a zoomed in view as well to look at it. So it's some rocks away on the far horizon, so that's what we're looking for. So if we go back to the main photo, what can we see? Well, we're at some rocks or boulders. Now they may be shown on the map, but they may not be. Just because there's boulders on the ground doesn't mean that they're definitely shown on the map, but it's something we might be aware of. And then ahead of us we've got this long flat plateau in the distance, and we can see if we follow it right to left in the photograph, it starts to drop away to the left here, and we can also see that we've got some streams or drainage features running down towards us, and then they get to this point here, and we can't see for definite, but we can assume that they're going to drain to the left as we look down, and hidden behind this foreground. The reason I'm saying that is because we've got high ground up to the right, so they're not going to drain down into here and then go rightwards up this hill. So they're going to drain and down to the left as we look. And then, as we've just seen, these rocks on the far horizon, the far distance, it's difficult to tell how far away they are, and also how high they are in relation to us. We might think that they're slightly higher. We're certainly not looking down from a great height on them, but the fact that we're looking, it looks like we're looking up slightly to this plateau, so we might assume that these are slightly higher than us. So we've got those things to consider. Let's have a look at the map. So let's start. I went anti-clockwise, so let's start from here and see if we can have a think about a few things, maybe discount some things. So could we be over here just above Rocking Stones looking out to the west? Well, there's a possibility. If that was the case, we'd be looking across. Could we be looking at those rocks there? Well, we need to check on the elevation. So this high point, Horse Stone, is at 526, so they're dropping down to 500, 450 meters there. So if we were on this point here looking across, we would be actually looking down onto those, and these rocks would be, they wouldn't be on the horizon, they'd be on this sort of ridge sticking out, so that doesn't quite fit. And also we may be able to see this drainage of the Derwent Valley going off into the distance and then up the other side, so that doesn't really fit with that there. So if we come further along, what rocks could we be looking for in the distance? Well, we could be looking for Barrow Stones or Griner Stones, but we'd have to be looking across to across quite a flat plateau with streams draining towards us. So over here it doesn't really fit. So continuing on the journey, what about being at Swains Head looking across? We've got these features here, but this is a big wide sort of U-shaped valley here as we look, with this ridge running down towards us, so that doesn't really make sense. Could we be on White Stones looking across to Barrow Stones? Well, that's starting to make sense. We could be looking across these drainage features here, across this flat ground and across to Barrow Stones. 590 meters there. White Stones over here just above 550 meters, so that would fit. What about Bleaklow Stones here, looking across? Well, Bleaklow Stones is, the high point here is 628. So if we said we were at 620 metres looking across, well, we'd be looking down in that case, wouldn't we? And also, if we were looking across there, there's no drainage features running down towards us with a valley draining off to the left as we looked, so that doesn't quite fit. If we come over to Griner Stones, well, if we were at Griner Stones here on the purple line, we couldn't really be looking over to Barrow Stones because that would be up and over the plateau edge. Could we be looking back to Bleaklow Stones? Well, possibly, but then again, we've got no drainage features draining down to our right. So out of all those, the only one that really fits is somewhere at Whitestones. So could we be at Whitestones looking across? Let's have another look at the map and see. So sorry, looking at the photograph to see, yeah, drainage features coming down, flat plateau slightly higher on the right across and draining down. But let's have a look at the zoomed in photograph. These rocks here, don't you can tell from the photo, but they're actually behind this ground here. So this high ground here is in the middle distance, so this bit with the streams draining off it, and these rocks are away in the distance behind those. So this high ground here is the middle distance, and those are away in the far distance. So on our map, would that make sense? If we're looking from here, could we be looking over here, these streams drain down towards us and then down to the left as we looked? This sort of ridge here, this high ground being the middle distance, and then these Barrow Stones away over in the far distance, and the land slightly rising to the right as we looked, and the photograph finishing about here before we can see Griner Stones and the ground starting to drop away to the right again. So this is what we were looking at. Photograph taken from Whitestones looking over to Barrow Stones. The green circle is these drainage features on the hillside opposite us, draining down towards us, and the yellow circle is that highland, that ridge in the middle distance, and then looking over towards Barrow Stones. So that was the answer this week. Hope you got it right or learnt from it or just found it interesting. Thanks for watching. Look out for next week's navigation task. Bye for now.